Right, hello guys, watching the Geek Sim. Today talking about The Walking Dead Series 5, Episode 9 to 16. So we talked about the first half of Series 5 already on the channel, and we've talked about all the other Walking Dead, so you might as well check that out if you haven't already. But let's get on to Episode 9 to 16 of Series 5 of The Walking Dead. So, I think this, hands down after watching the whole series now, Series 5, personally for me, is the weakest of the series. Series 1 and 2, Series 3 was good. Series 4 was good. But Series 5, it's good, but the scale and there's the elements that come before it with other series is so much better. I think Series 5 has lost where it needs to be, and I think it's kind of gained it towards the end of the series, and I finally think I know why. With Series 1 to 3, we had a farm, we had a prison. Now towards the end of Series 5, we have this like little city sort of thing going on. When our characters has a place to stay, something to survive for, something that has them there, it works. But when they're just dotted about going to place on the travel sort of thing, I think it doesn't. And that's something that personally I think I found with this. But anyway, we go off where we left off from episode 8. So Beth dying, she wanted to get her friend to his home. So Rick feels like he owes it to Beth. So he takes this guy who's Beth's friend from the hospital to his place. And obviously that's all gone by zombies and got. Which leads to the guy running off and Tyrese following him. And then Tyrese getting bit. So we lose another person. Tyrese getting bit, though, we had like visions of the Colonel, the two girls, and Bob, and the guy who was trying to kill Rick's daughter at one point. So you have all these people that have died already in the show, and they've come back like as a Force ghost, taunting and Tyrese, and it's weird. It's a weird thing. They did something to try and make his death impactful, which I thought worked, but it was definitely just weird because you just knew everything was happening was all in his head. He's losing a lot of blood, and this is probably what the scenario is. So there's that. When Rick tries to chop off his hand to save it. Also, he gets bit again. So another zombie comes to him. He's already been bit, so he just puts out and kills the zombie, but gets bit again. So he's got bit twice now on the arm. When Rick chops it off, Tyrese is losing a lot of blood. I'm saying Tyrese because I think that's his name. I finally feel like I've finally got his name right. I'm not sure particularly 100%, but I think it's Tyrese. And if you don't know who I'm on about, it's the guy who saved with Carol, who saved Rick's daughter, basically. That guy. Yeah. Anyway, so he loses a lot of blood and he dies, and that's the end of that. And our characters are mourning him, and just at a point where they're just and then they get hit by a storm, and then this little like barn, and it's just chaos, and the weather's pounding them. And then this guy suddenly offers them help, and they go off, and it takes them a while to trust, and they get split up, and they come back, but eventually they go to this city of such that's got a massive wall built around it. This guy is genuine. Everyone is genuine. Everyone's such a nice people, but obviously Rick's been through a lot. The gang have. So them to trust these people is taken a lot after the Colonel, after that other place that was trying to eat them all. So yeah. Anyway, we go in. A lot of our characters, like Daryl, took a lot of convincing to eventually starting to settle in. And when Rick gives Daryl a gun, Daryl doesn't want it. The woman, the sword, her finding her feet and feeling comfortable and safe for once. And there's so many characters like Glenn and his wife. that are just getting comfortable, but Rick obviously on the defense, not willing to really trust everyone and willing to try and take control. So he thinks because everyone's weak, they need to be protected. But also he thinks because they're weak, he can take their city and take over, to eventually a point where he thinks they're too nice and he doesn't really want to do that and starts to go with the gang. We also have Carol being absolute savage to this little boy who finds her taking the guns and like taunting him and stuff, which is crazy. But yeah, Rick gets involved with this woman, and she has a husband and he's beating her, and by the end Rick kind of goes head to head fighting wise, and this woman who's been recording them all, head of the place, yeah, she is literally saying to her society, her little group, do we get rid of Rick or not? And whilst that's happening, the priest, can we just kill the priest already? Can we just have him? Have the priest gone. He's had so many opportunities to be gone. It's unreal. I hate him. I really don't like this character. I just every time I see him, I'm just like, oh, he winds me up. He's got to be gone. Can we get him gone, please? He's even ratted on Rick's whole team and tried to get them gone. He's done some stuff that's real peeing me. Can we get him gone, please? Soon. Do it. Just do it. Anyway, rant over. So the priest needs to get gone. So obviously that woman who's her husband's getting beating up Rick, and beats up his wife. He comes to the meeting after Rick's just killed a load of zombies that come in and try to attack the city because the gates were open because of the priest. Also, Glenn and his little group get attacked at one point by zombies, and one of the people in the group was our main woman who owns the society, you could say. Her son gets killed, so she's grieving from that. She's also, her son's friend is kind of what everyone got killed because of him, and some of the main characters got injured. But then that character tries to kill Glenn, and Glenn's so close to killing him and doesn't. I'm like, oh, it's gonna come back to haunt you. It's gonna come back to haunt you, I know it. But anyway, so that's where that's left off. But anyway, Rick's killed a load of zombies because the priest let the door in for the zombies to come in because he's an idiot. But anyway, Rick's making his point again. You need to get tough. I can help you. And of course, the guy who beats up his wife, the one who had a fight with Rick, pulls a knife and tries to kill Rick, but then kills the woman who owns the society, her husband, who built the walls. So he gets killed by accident, and then she's just angry and furious, and she starts to listen to Rick and goes, Rick, do it, kill him. So he gets got, and then we see a familiar face from the guy who helped save Rick at the very beginning of the first series, and he'd come back at one other point as well. He finally sees Rick, because Daryl and this other guy were trying to hunt to save some people, and he was one of them that got brought to the society. Anyway, that's kind of where the series is left off. A little lackluster cliffhanger, but still interesting, and our characters are definitely moulded into the society at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see now they're starting to listen to it where we go next with Series 6. But I do feel like this is a lackluster series that's not really done it for me as much as all the others. So I'm going to have to rank Series 5 out of 10. Overall, including the first part of the series, a 7. Which is still better than average. I say 5 is an average. 7's pretty good. But it's not as good as all the other series. I gave Series 4 like an 8.5, I think. All the other series got an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. So it has dropped to a 7, but it's still good. It's still better than most shows. So I'm very interested to see where we go next with Series 6. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to review it next week. But of course, we don't just do Walking Dead. We do Star Wars, we do Geek Assemble stuff such as Marvel, Doctor Who, Rick and Morty, you name it. Really space to be for a geek like me. So join and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys on a review very soon. Have a nice day. Bye.